So thank you. It is a pleasure to be here with everybody, virtually albeit, but it's great to participate in this event. So I've been fortunate to be a member of Intuitive for over 22 years, where we created and evolved the Da Vinci surgical system. And for use in a range of surgical procedures in a range of specialties. Like Codex, we were inspired by Leonardo da Vinci, which is where our platform name originated. So before I dive in, the question that I want to pose here is, how can data help improve surgical outcomes? Before diving in, I would like to take a step back and provide you a little bit of background. So over the years at Intuitive, we have been striving for driving minimally invasive care through advanced technology. And in doing so, we've been able to drive the surgeons into enable them with technology that they have never been able to use before. As we look to the future, our vision is to enable and continue to drive this minimally invasive approach. And one of the things that we're really focusing on is being able to identify disease states much earlier, so that patients can get back to what matters most. So over the past 25 years, we've evolved the technology, and it has allowed us to bring its use into a range of procedures over different specialties. As we've evolved over the years, we found that it was not only necessary to have an enabling robotic platform that you could bring inside the operating room, but it was also necessary to build a rich ecosystem for being able to integrate the solution inside of the hospital, as well as to enable and train all of the various stakeholders. To date, we have trained over 60,000 surgeons using our ecosystem, and as of last year, we had over 7,000 systems worldwide that produced over 10 million procedures to date. Now, one thing to note is that the data that has been generated throughout those 10 million procedures is one of the critical aspects for us to really start to charge forward and determine whether or not it's possible to use data to achieve better surgical outcomes. So coming back to our question, how can data help improve surgical outcomes? So now we've got a link between the surgeon and the patient. One of the things that we did in the early days was to transition from a surgeon with a mechanical link to a surgical instrument, and replaced it with a digital link, so that we were able to convey surgeons' motions to small instruments inside the body. This allowed for maintaining the dexterity of the wrist, as well as being able to see the operative field within a 3D view. And so now with this rich set of data that gives us an understanding of what's going on in the operating room, let's first look at what we do know. So data and the algorithms that are analyzing them are tools for being able to identify insights. These insights help us understand what questions we want to explore and answer. The second is that data management, especially in healthcare data, is a privilege, and with it comes responsibility, where we need to make sure that the privacy and security of this data is managed so that we can continue to benefit from it as we try to advance healthcare. Over the years, we have noticed that the ability to generate insights from data has helped physicians, care teams, and hospital administrators understand how their robotic programs are performing, and also helping to identify areas for potential improvement. The fourth is that we've identified that the real work is really in creating that infrastructure, making sure that you can access the right data at the right time, making sure that you've got high quality data. And this is real work to make sure that that everything is available. And I think the fifth one, most people would agree that there is significant benefit and opportunity to be able to leverage that data to move things forward. So with those in mind, these are the four things that we believe are true and about where we can head in the future. And really, we believe that the future and the opportunity is fueled by the predictive nature of what data can provide. It starts off with the connected data sets, being able to take what happens inside of the operating room and being able to connect that with the operational and clinical outcomes that are achieved. Being able to use that data, machine learning and data scientists are able to use their techniques and analyze what types of patterns and the types of things that they can extract from that data to help understand what makes what is the characteristics of delivering good care. On the right-hand side, if we now start transitioning over into real-time point of care characteristics and being able to to guide procedures, you've got at the point of care inside of the operating room. Imagine a situation where you had an algorithm that was able to go in, monitor the various data feeds, and based off of the over 10 million procedures that have been done on the platform to date, be able to recommend what the next steps are that will guarantee a particular outcome. Taking it the next step, being able to go in and really identify what a good procedure looks like. In particular, as you look at the various surgical tasks, understanding what a quality surgical task is. Take, for example, an anastomosis. So this is a surgical task where two vessels are connected together after a disease portion has been removed. If this isn't done correctly, then a complication then in terms of a postoperative leak can occur, which could require a reoperation. And so imagine if an algorithm was able to detect that in real time and was able to notify the surgeon of that assessment, such that the surgeon could fix the issue before the patient is closed, and thus avoiding a second procedure. So what are we doing about it, and how are we advancing surgical science? So the first step is that we're working with clinicians, care teams, and surgical societies to really advance the field of surgical data science. So this is identifying those insights that can be used to drive actions to help improve outcomes. Second, we are continuing to build and validate data-enabled products and services. And so data is great, and insights tell you what direction you're headed, but what actually helps you improve are the actions that you take using the various products and services. And then finally, facilitating a collaborative environment where through partnerships and through bringing that collective community together. A task and ambition like this is something where you need significant collaboration between all the various stakeholders. So it will take a significant amount of time to go through and really generate the evidence to determine whether or not the operational and clinical improvements are being made. But if we're able to achieve it, then we will be able to really prescribe the approach and the surgical approach and the technology to use such that you can guarantee a particular outcome. This would then allow us to give patients the same level of care, regardless of where or when they seek treatment. So as a technologist, one of the things that I can guarantee that you will see as time moves on and as this field advances is the confluence of robotic and digital technologies along with the artificial intelligence and the other algorithms that are analyzing the data, will continue to revolutionize how we diagnose and manage patients, so that we can get patients back to what they value best. Thank you.